Battery pack development timeline. Non-standard lithium battery packs, which undergo full development to include custom BMS and enclosure, follows a similar timeline to nickel metal hydride, alkaline, and standard lithium. Once an RFQ is received, it typically takes 10 to 20 days to provide a quote, depending on the complexity of design. Once the PO is received, it will be entered and confirmed to the customer within 48 hours. All battery projects need to begin with samples for the customer to receive, test, and approve. The sample quantity is determined by the customer during the quote process. The sample process begins with an Epec proof drawing created and submitted to the customer for approval before assembling sample batteries. This will take anywhere from 2 to 3 days, depending on the complexity of the battery. The proof is then submitted to the customer for their design review for approval to proceed with or changes they may want. Typically, the customer will provide approval or feedback within 3 to 5 days, and if edits or changes are needed, the proof is revised and resubmitted for approval again. With the proof approved, we will proceed with the determined number of samples. Lead time will be contingent on PCBA design and component availability for samples. The housing will also require collaboration and approval on the design before proceeding. The PCBA and enclosure design and approval for samples are very much customer dependent, so timing varies. Once approved, we proceed with samples. The lead time can range from 10 to 20 weeks, depending on the design, component availability, and is typically provided with 3D printed enclosures. The customer receives the completed samples and will need to perform their review and/or testing to provide a formal approval to proceed with the production quantity. This process is very undetermined, as seen with each timeline for customer review. This customer review for the approval step can take anywhere from 1 day to several months, depending on the testing needed. If the battery pack is approved, we proceed with production, with lead time to complete typically being 10 weeks unless there are long lead items for the battery pack. If the samples need to be changed or modified, we will need to go through the proof process again with the updates prior to producing the next round of samples, following the previous timelines.